And we promise you it won't take as long as the 603 Super Mini Cups. Marco didn't want to say it, I will. Marco, to be honest, there's probably not any more outspoken people than me and you.
Oh, well.
That's why they keep us around. They love us. At least that's what I say to myself at night. All right.
We're going 20 laps with the fastest of the 4 cylinders of today. Or at least, you know.
Leo Martin's going to bring that pace car down to the infield to the go-kart section of the facility. Down into turns 3 and 4. Kevin Boucher is going to lead him into the 603 Metalworks and Collision start zone. Green flag will fly, and we are mini cup race. That's right. Mini stock racing.
Yeah. Mini cups are over. It's the only thing that is over. All right, keep your eye on the 671. He's boxed in right now. Let's see if the front two can pull away and make things interesting as Dick Lamont runs the outside groove and tries to grab the early lead.
Dickey's trying on the outside of Boucher, down in the 3 and 4. Dick Lamont's going to take the lead on the exit of turn 4. Boucher's going to fight back to the inside. Here comes the 671, the two-time defending champion Kyle Templeton down into 1 and 2. Dick Lamont to the lead. Boucher's going to fight back on the inside once again. Kyle Templeton stuck behind these two. Dick Lamont now clear out front. He's going to try to drive away while Boucher tries to hold off the 671.
Templeton's got it rolling down low. He's underneath Boucher into second position, and he'll try to chase down Dick Lamont in front of the field.
Dick Lamont now trying to run away. It's chicken now. It's a game of chicken. Can Lamont hold Templeton off for the next 16 laps out of turn 2? Templeton closes the gap just a bit. Down the back into turns 3 and 4. Here comes the 671 of Kyle Templeton all over the back of the number 18 of Dick Lamont. He looks to the top side. Lamont's going to stick to the bottom. 15 to go. 5 laps complete on the exit of turn 2. Here comes the 671. Looking to the inside. Off into 3 and 4. Top left corner of your screen. They have one of the Lamont racing drivers down the bottom getting lapped. And now Kyle Templeton all over the back of the 18 of old Dickie Lamont as he leads the first 6 laps here at Claremont.
There's a battle ongoing for that final podium position as well, as Kevin Bushy in the 71 tries to hold off the 93. Tim Paquette,
Andrea St. Amour, Kevin Boucher all over each other for that 3rd spot, but the battle for the lead is heating up. This time as we click away lap number 7. Templeton looks topside. Now he goes over. Oh, he drives over the bottom of the left corner. The left rear of the 18 and the 671 of Kyle Templeton and the 18 of Dick Lamont may just be out of this race.
Templeton quickly. They're both pulling away.
Oh, boy. Oh, Lamont's got serious left rear damage. Left rear flat, left rear rim destroyed. Kyle Templeton going directly to the pits to get that car looked at.
8 laps have been completed. 12 laps are left. And let's see if our 2 front runners can return and try to charge their way from the back of the pack.
Oh boy, that changes absolutely everything. All right, so that is going to change. I don't have enough fingers, apparently. All right, so your leader is gonna now be the 71 of Kevin Boucher. 2nd spot, Tim Paquette. 3rd, Andreas St. Amour. 4th spot, the 52 of Tim LeBlanc. 5th spot's gonna be good for Sean Lantis. 6th spot is now the 10. That might be the 18X of Donnie Bumgardner, that is. Then the 19 of Tim O'Shea. Then the 31 of Jacob Tuck, who's a lap down. I haven't seen Lamont or Templeton come back on the racetrack. They are going to re-enter the racetrack through turns 3 and 4. So if you're sitting here at Claremont, keep an eye on turns 3 and 4 where the pit road breaks away. They're going to come down that right-hand side and rejoin back at the end of the field if they can get those cars fixed and back in a decent enough position for them to be able to race. You see Ryan Lawless, general manager and owner of the Dwarf Car Series, now down there in turns 3 and 4. He's returning the 671 back to the back of the pack. And I still don't see the 18. We'll keep an eye and see if Ryan is able to move it all again. I don't see him doing it. They're racking and stacking. Lamont not going to rejoin us. Kyle Templeton will be on the outside of row number 5, restarting in the 10th position with 12 laps to go. Can I not count?
There's only 9 cars out there.
He's an 8th. Sorry. Green flag flies. Kevin Boucher gonna lead off into 1 and 2. Tim Paquette second. Andrea St. Amour now in the 3rd spot. Does the 20 of Andrea St. Amour and Mama's Money get anything for those 2 drivers in front of her?
Paquette up to challenge your race leader. Man, Andrea St. Amour 3rd, and she has company.
Tim Paquette's trying to defend his home track from the invaders. You got the 71 who hasn't been here all year, and Kevin Boucher. He's trying to come in and invade. He's got 10 laps to go that time. Double high fives in the air, cross the flags as well as we're halfway there, halfway home. I don't know if Paquette's going to have anything for Boucher, but he is going to try in that pick-em-up truck coming out of turn 4.
Templeton into the top 5 and now challenging for 4th position. Laps are ticking away in the mini stock main event. About 8 laps to go now. Can Templeton complete his climb through the field? He's up to 4th and now ready to challenge Andrea St. Amour for 3rd position.
We're going to go side by side here in a moment for the 3rd spot in the 3 and 4. Nothing doing that time. All 4 cars under a blanket. You can see him. 7 to go. Boucher leads from Paquette. Now Kyle Templeton to the inside of Andrea St. Amour on the exit of turns 1 and 2. Kyle Templeton down the backstretch, going to take away the 3rd spot and set his sights on the top 2 in the podium.
6 laps to go out in front. It continues to be Boucher in the 71. The 93. Tim Paquette still second. Less than 5 laps to go. Paquette now trying to hold off Templeton, but that's not happening. Kyle Templeton underneath Paquette into 2nd spot. 4 laps to go as he pulls in. And underneath, Kevin Boucher. Kevin Boucher can't hold off Templeton. He completes his charge from last to 1st. 3 laps to go, Templeton. The reigning champion, the 2-time defending champion now in front. Tim Paquette trying to take 2nd away from the 71. 2 laps to go. Kevin Boucher in the 71 holding off Paquette as they race underneath the white flag. 1 lap to go. Battle for second's going to go right down to the wire, but Templeton's in front, and he's taking the checkered flags once again. Another victory for Kyle Templeton in the 671. Second goes to Boucher in the 71, and then Tim Paquette, the 93, ends up 3rd. 4th, Andrea St. Amour in car number 20, and Tim LeBlanc rounds out the top 5. He's aboard car number 52. So your track champ is going to park it once again in Country Fuels of Victory Lane. Oh yeah! Kyle Templeton wins the mini stock main event. The Atom Bombs headed to victory lane. We'll send it trackside.
Jumping out down here in victory lane, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the 671 of Kyle Templeton. Things happen here at Claremont, Kyle, that I have no words for sometimes, and that's one of them. How is the car out there? I mean, it's cold. We can all tell that, so the track's a lot different than it has been all season. Looks like you were pretty hooked up there tonight.
Yeah, the car was great. I don't know what happened between me and Dick. I don't know if I, drove it a little too harder or he came down on me. I'm not really sure. I'll have to watch the replay on that. But, between that and I have to dedicate this to my grandmother, Marion Bly. She passed away a few weeks ago, so we're all sad about that. But, I have to thank Uncle Rob, Alyssa, Delilah, my bumper for helping me out a lot this year. My mom, dad, and everybody else that's helped. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for your Fall Challenge Day 1 mini stock winner, Kyle Templeton. Marco, I can see him. They're off in turns 3 and 4. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 shooters are up next.
Yes, indeed. 6 shooters scheduled for 20 laps. 11 cars slated to take the green flag in our 6-shooter main event. As Kyle Templeton wraps things up in Country Fuel's victory lane, our mini stock winner on night 1 of Fall Challenge weekend here at Claremont Motorsports Park. So the 2-time reigning mini stock champ gets the job done once again. Street stocks go for $5,000 tomorrow. Tell your friends, post time 1:30, that's right, a nice warm afternoon program. Day 2 of Fall Challenge weekend, 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, right here at Claremont Motorsports Park. Megan Bell's going to lead them to post here. In the pure stock main event, on the outside, the 51, Garrett Berry of Whately, Mass. David Bell from Hatfield, Mass. in the 51 will start third. Michael Yetton from Amherst aboard car 25. He's outside of row number 2. Steve Miller, the senior, the 68 out of Grantham, will start 5th. Michael Casey outside of row number 3. Michael from Pittsfield driving car number 88. Steve Miller Jr. from Grantham, the 79, starts in 7th spot. Wyatt Smith, the X89 from Naugatuck, Connecticut, grids 8th. Dustin Thibodeau from Charlestown in the 21. Jarrett Fisk, car number 8, also from Charlestown. They'll share row number 5. And Bucky Thibodeau from Claremont will be at the tail of the lineup. Bucky's in car number 87. 6 shooters for 20 laps.
Going to be a very interesting 20 laps here.
11 cars strong. Yeah, these guys had the marathon of the heat races, so, hopefully they'll behave themselves a little better here in the main event.
We'll see what happens now down into turns 3 and 4. For the first time tonight, the 6 shooters will roll through the 603 Metalworks and Collision start zone. Green flag will fly. Chief starter Chris Horton going to let him go.
Oh, yeah. Already they're up there with all those 25-looking cars there to confuse me. Look at that. 51's all over the top of the scoreboard, and it's not a 51 in the lead.
No, so the 251 is Michael Yetton. He's your leader. Second spot now is the 25.
It's not Michael Yetton. Michael Yetton's back in third.
Oh, no, that's Megan Bell. That's Megan Bell. Michael Yetton's in second. Garrett
Now
Berry's
he's
in
in
third. Yeah, now he's in second. And then David Bell's in the fourth spot. The 51 is everywhere all over this racetrack right now.
Garrett Berry.
In that battle for the second spot now, Michael Yetton, who's a 5 on the leaderboard, but should be a 25, sits second. Then the 351s, first, third, and fourth. And then you have the Gangster of Love, Steve Miller Jr. looking to the inside for the sixth spot on Michael Casey. Side by side up out of 4. A Stone Leaf Cannabis number 79, goes down into 1 and 2 side by side with the 88. Casey sideways.
Yeah. This isn't quite like those 5 car number 7s in the Granite State Pro Stock Series.
Oh, you mean that or the 5 in the Act? There's about 30 of them in all these different series. Between the 25, the 7, and the 48, and the 33, they're the most popular numbers in New England.
Yetton is making a bid for the lead underneath Megan Bell in turn number 3, challenging for that front-running position.
The 251 versus the 25. The identical cars painted opposite colors down in a 1 and 2. The pink numbers on the 251. Something wrong maybe with the Michael Yetton machine. He got big time slow off in a 1 and 2. Big puff of smoke. Garrett Berry looks to the outside. Nothing doing. Michael Yetton wanted the top side. He wanted to try it the hard way. He's looking up top this time, coming out of 4. Coming to 14 to go. He's got a run, and he's going to try to use it in 1 and 2 on Megan Bell.
Front 3 trying to separate themselves from the balance of the field as the leaders get together.
Yeah, she drove him up towards the wall there, defending the outside perfectly was Megan Bell. She's going to let Michael have the outside if he wants it, because the inside is the preferred line, especially when the track is this cold. Michael's going to try the over-under, thought better of it, because Garrett Berry's there. And guess who's popped his head into the 4th spot and is right here? The Gangster of Love and the Stone Leaf Cannabis number 79. Steve Miller Jr.'s up here in the 4th spot.
Yeah, he's torturing that right front, smoke rolling off the right front of that 79 as he makes his way forward.
I can tell you, knowing Steve as well as I do, if he goes in the pits and the right front isn't hot as lava, he hasn't done what he wants to yet tonight. So he's going to drive the wheels off that thing down in a 1 and 2 trying to get around Garrett Berry, but we're coming to halfway this time. Megan Bell closes the door on Yetton one more time. That gives Steve Miller Jr. an opportunity on the outside of Garrett Berry into 3 and 4.
Yeah, rarely do we get that cliche out about 4 cars under a blanket. They kind of, sort of, almost were. And as soon as we say it, they fall in line. Everybody's still chasing Megan Bell.
Megan Bell is doing everything she can. Hard crash earlier this year caused her to have to get a new car. She picked one of these, and I'll tell you what, she's got to be pretty happy with her choice right now down in a 1 and 2. Michael Yetton, the track champion at 2 tracks this year, looking all over her, just still can't make a move.
And now Miller tries the outside as he attempts to take 3rd spot away from Garrett Berry in the 51.
Nothing doing there that time, but down in the 1 and 2, he'll take the top side once again, try to roll the Angels Expressway, maybe not, do the over-under on the exit of 2, just wasn't close enough to get the momentum to work, but you can see it, the battle for 1st and the battle for 3rd right there on your screen, and they're all within a second of each other. Berry has a moment on the exit of 4, coming to 7 to go now. Megan Bell's going to take the top side and really close off Michael Yetton as they go around the lap car. Here we go. The battle for the lead is going to heat up down the backstretch. Yetton got a run. He's to the inside in 3 and 4. He breaks himself. The 8 outbreaks himself. Jarrett Fisk right into the path of the leaders. 3rd, 4th, and 5th all thrown for a loop. But the battle for the lead is going to heat up now. Michael Yetton top to bottom out of 2. He's going to roll down the backstretch, Marco. We're going to come to 5 to go. Can Michael Yetton get the move done on Megan Bell?
Wildly entertaining main event for the 6 shooters. Bell all in command, now pulling away from Yetton in the 25. Oh, 3rd belongs to the 51. Miller can't seem to find a way by Garrett Berry. Now Miller tries the low side in the 79. They make contact up in turn number 2. Miller's off the pace. Casey moves to 4th. Miller tries to hang on to a top 5 position. Megan Bell still your leader, but not by much. Yeton there to challenge in the 25. He's been there most of the race. 2 laps to go. Megan Bell leading Michael Yeton. Garrett Berry still 3rd, with Casey right behind him. Yeton to the outside. White flags waving, 1 lap to go. Megan Bell hugging the rail, pushing up a little bit in turn number 2. Yeton with 1 last shot coming out of turn number 4. He dives down low. The lapped car blocks his path, and Megan Bell gets to the checkered flags, winning your pure stock main event. Megan Bell, the 251. Ends up your winner, Michael Yeton, second in the 25, then the 51. Garrett Berry ends up 3rd. Michael Casey 4th in the 88, and rounding out the top 5, Dustin Thibodeau in car number 21. Parking it in victory lane with car number 251. It's your 6 shooters winner tonight. And she's on a victory lap. Megan Bell, the 251, grabs the checkered flag. She'll take a trip around the oval and park it again in Country Fuels victory lane. Nick Adams will be there to greet her. We're going to send it trackside to the Atom Bomb.
Claremont Motorsports Park, give it up as she's going to turn the 251 off and jump out the driver's side window. Her first win here at Claremont, ladies and gentlemen, Megan Bell. All right, Megan, come on over to the pretty side of the car. It's got a Chevy thing. It's got a check engine light on. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Megan Bell! Megan, big win here tonight. This thing looked hooked up, and you held off not 1, not 2, but 3 super hard-to-beat competitors in David, Michael, and Steve Miller Jr. How was the car out there tonight?
It felt awesome. I struggled with it at the beginning in practice because it's a new car to me, but figuring it out over the course of the day, it felt great, and I'm super happy.
Who do you want to thank for helping getting this thing right here in Victory Lane at Fall Challenge Weekend?
I'd like to thank Michael, my dad, Garrett, everyone else who's helped me in the pits, JDR Builders, Tri-State Truck and Trailer, Tom's Hot Dogs, and anybody else I forgot.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, give it up here for your winner in the 6-shooter feature on Fall Challenge Day 1, Megan Bell! Marco, I see him up in turns 3 and 4 in staging. It is time for us to go Ridge Runner racing.
Indeed. JP's Trucking Ridge Runners up next for 20 laps as Megan Bell celebrates. All right. Ridge Runners will roll out as soon as Megan Bell and everybody else clears out of Country Fuels victory lane after a spectacular six-shooters main event. Don't forget, Fall Challenge Day 2 tomorrow, 1:30 post time, and we're racing Sunday afternoon as well. But right now, it's Ridge Runner. Main event time, 20 laps, the scheduled distance. Kyle Buck from Claremont scheduled to lead him off from the pole with car number X43. The pace car awaiting Kyle's arrival. All right, Kyle Buck from Claremont in the 43 will lead them to post. Trevor Young in car number 5 starts outside of the front row. Stone Slattery from Pelham, the 99, starts third. His outside. Patrick Joslin out of Methuen, Mass. in car number 26. Travis Jersick from Moosip, Connecticut in the 28. George Perrault, car number 1 out of Woodstock, Connecticut. Connor Janowski from Jacksonville, Vermont in the 52, and Hayden Grenier is at the back in car number 1. It's under here.
If you've enjoyed Fall Challenge so far, this is the halfway point of day number 1. Tomorrow, day number 2 starts bright and early. Everything opens at 8 a.m. around here. We're going to get ready. Breakfast will be served. Come on down and watch race cars with your morning coffee, because at 1:30 post time tomorrow, we begin the biggest show of the year at the Claremont Motorsports Park. And, you know, I have said that a few times in my career here at Claremont, that tomorrow is the biggest show. Tomorrow really is the biggest show at the Claremont Motorsports Park. We're going to rack them and stack them, get ready to rock and roll. But tomorrow we crown champions in certain series. We get ready to rock and roll all around. But right now, into turns 3 and 4, Brianna Buck gonna lead them down. Trevor Young, green flag, flies, and away we go. Stone Slattery in the second spot. The 26 on the outside in the third spot. They're 3 wide for the lead out of 2. Young way up top. Buck in the middle on the bottom. Stone Slattery. Stone Slattery's going to slide through the 43. He's going to get clipped. She cut the nose off the 26. Patrick Jocelyn out of 4. Side by side, and we keep rolling.
It's not her.
Kyle Buck in the 43, not Brianna Buck. Kyle closed the door on the exit of 4 there and spun the car around off the nose of Patrick Jocelyn. The Hillbilly Heartbreaker Carlos Grenier started all the way out back. He's up to the 4th spot, coming up out of turns 3 and out of turns 1 and 2. Stone Slattery, Trevor Young, Patrick Jocelyn, and Hayden Grenier. Carlos Grenier, your top 4. Travis Jersick in the 5th spot. Now the battle up front is going to be between the 99 and the 5. Coming up out of turns 3 and 4 that time. Still your leader, the 99 of Stone Slattery. Trevor Young doing everything he can to close the gap. The Skull Bandit in the 4th spot. We got a spinner up out of 4. The 1 car's around. Oh boy. That 1 car. Good for George Perrault. Spins it around up out of turns 3 and 4. Doesn't look like there's any damage to that race car. He's going to get it fired back up, roll it away. No need for safety to roll, no need for track work. This will be one of those, what we call in the business, Marco, a quickie yellow.
And we hope it is exceptionally quick as the pace car returns to the racing surface.
And Leo Martin's going to pick him up at the front in turns 1 and 2. Already the safety trucks have returned to their designated parking areas in the infield, turned the lights off, and they get ready to rock and roll. Leo Martin turns the lights off on his pace car. The field is not bunched up yet. They might be when they enter the restart zone. We'll see. A couple of these guys might end up losing out here. Into the 603 Metalworks and Collision restart zone. Chris Horton going to give him the green flag, and away we go. Stone Slattery going to lead from Trevor Young, but Trevor Young up on the top side, that Springfield Paving number 5, going to do everything he can, trying to get by the number 99. The 26 of Patrick Jocelyn sits in the 3rd spot, waiting for the 5 to make a mistake, and the Hillbilly Heartbreaker tops the outside lane. He's trying to come through. Battle for 2nd now. Jocelyn to the inside of Young on the exit of turn 2. Patrick Jocelyn, Trevor Young. It's going to be a drag race. Power versus power off into 3 and 4. It's Chevy versus Chevy on the bottom. Up on a turn 4. New 2nd place driver is going to be the 26 of Patrick Jocelyn. Sets his sights on the 99 of Stone Slattery. While Trevor Young comes under a lot of pressure from Travis Jurczyk down into 3 and 4.
Slattery in command right now. Let's see if anybody's got anything for him. Jocelyn just a bit more than a second behind the 99. Can he close the gap?
Throw a blanket over 3rd, 4th, and 5th there. That's going to be the Travis Jurczyk car to the inside of Trevor Young, and the Hillbilly Heartbreaker is going to follow him through on the inside of the number 5. He sets his sights now on that 4th position. He's going to try to roll the bottom. Trevor Young stuck up where you don't want to be on the top side. He'll fall from 2nd to 4th in just a couple of, 2nd to 5th in a couple of laps time. And now the Hillbilly Heartbreaker, bottom right corner of your screen in the middle, the black and white number 1 New Hampshire Skull car, puts his eyes on the invader in the 28 Connecticut of Travis Jurczyk as Stone Slattery tries to hold off the other invader of Patrick Jocelyn at the front. Coming to 10 to go.
They're halfway home. 10 down, 10 to go. Stone Slattery in control. He's got about 6 or 8 car lengths on every one of his rivals as the 99 cruises in front of the field.
The best name in motor racing right now, showing he might be the best Ridge Runner driver in all of New Hampshire at the moment. Patrick Jocelyn 2nd, 3rd spot. Travis Jurczyk 4th spot. The Hillbilly Heartbreaker comes under pressure from the number 5 of Trevor Young for the 4th spot. Kyle Buck back in the 6th spot. Now we're coming to 8 to go for Stone Slattery. Can he hold off Patrick Jocelyn in the 26?
Travis Jurczyk, Carlos Grenier, and Trevor Young in the top 5. The laps are ticking away, 7 to go. In the Ridge Runner main event, good battle for 2nd. Well, it was a good battle for 2nd. Jocelyn hanging on to the 2 spot. He's starting to pull away from Travis Jurczyk now after they made contact. Battling for position. Slattery's your leader, and he is stretching his advantage. 5 laps remain in the JP's Trucking Ridge Runner main event. All right, that battle for 2nd is heating up once again. Jocelyn in the 26 trying to hold off Jurczyk. Jurczyk in the 28 underneath, and he draws even. Great battle for 2nd. And give the spot to Travis Jersick in the 28. Slattery now about a straightaway better than the rest of the Ridge Runners. 2 laps to go for the driver of car number 99. Travis Jersick still second in the 28, the Connecticut Invader. Joslin third in car 26. White flag. 1 lap to go for Stone Slattery. Travis Jersick, Patrick Joslin, second and third, but Grenier in the 1. Trying to make things interesting on the final lap. Checkered flag flies. And Stone Slattery is your winner. Second goes to the 28, Travis Jersick. Patrick Joslin third. In car 26, Carlos Grenier at the line ends up in 4th. Aboard car number 1 and rounding out the top 5 is car number 5, Trevor Young. And stopping to pick up the checkered flag in Country Fuels Victory Lane, it's your Ridge Runners winner. From Pelham, Stone Slattery. And Stone will be joined in Victory Lane by Nick Adams, the Atom Bomb, and we'll send it trackside right now.
Down here on the front stretch, jumping out of the number 99 Cantwell Equipment Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, Stone Slattery! Come on, Claremont, we can do better than that. Stone Slattery! There we go. All right, Stone, I wasn't letting you not get a cheer. These guys might be cold, but they got a cheer. It was definitely cold. You look cold. How was the car?
Car was good. For the first time coming here, this place is pretty cool. I can't thank all my guys enough for making the trip out. Everybody's been talking. Miss M's been wanting me to come down here all year and been putting it off, and finally came down, and the car's in one piece, so we'll be back Sunday too. I can't thank all my sponsors enough. Main Rocket Recycling, Joy's HVAC, Jared Soul Electric, Seven Lakes Marine, The Steakhouse, Dan Davis Sales, Gold Bull Ventures, Cantwell Equipment Co., everybody who helps me get here.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time. Your winner in the Ridge Runners, Stone Slattery. All right, Marco. For the first time this weekend, we're going to see him 5 times over the next 3 days. The LaValle Building Supply Pure Stocks are in staging.
And we are looking forward to pure stock heaven here. And there ought to be a ton of them coming for the big triple 20s tomorrow. Pure stocks in the spotlight along with the street stocks tomorrow. All right, Colton Hall out of Windsor, Vermont, your pole sitter in the 51. On the outside of row number 1, Kyle Kenny, the 57 out of Rutland, Vermont. The 76, Chris Quinn from Hudson. The 78, Carter Conroy from Newport. Andreas St. Amour from Chelsea, Vermont, car number 20. Dominic Stafford drives the 56. He's from Millers Falls, Massachusetts. The 36, Sean Netto from Fremont starts 7th. The 20, Chris Chambers from Chelsea, Vermont, will start in 8th position. James Zellman out of Greenfield, Mass, grids 9th in the 29. Chloe Zulo, car number 7 out of Claremont, starts 10th. 11th starting position, J.J. Goodbout out of Lincoln in the 92. Wyatt Hosington from Grantham in car 14 starts 12th. Shayla Kirk in the 71 out of Pepperell, Mass. Gage Dillingham from Windsor in the 41. The 16X, Travis Hant from Windsor. Henry Petrowitz from Irving, Mass. in car number 12. The 9, Jeremy Ruggieri from Unity. Andrew Nickerson from Springfield, Vermont in the 72. The 44, Derek Greenaway from Pepperell, Mass. J.D. Stockwell from Berniston, Mass. car number 45. The 83, Lindsay Wenzel from Claremont. And Ben Smithy at the back out of Grafton, Vermont in the 45. 25 laps, the scheduled distance.
25 laps, Marco. 22 cars. This is going to be a show. I'll tell you what, for the fans who have not tuned in most of the year, there's one big difference tonight for our Pure Stocks versus every other race. They are allowed offset wheels and tires tonight. So everybody in the field, except that 78 Junior, has offset tires on. He was bad fast in his heat. See if he can do it again here in the feature. Colton Hull, your 2025 LaValle Building Supply Pure Stocks champion, going to start on the pole. And then, funny enough, in the car that he won the title at Monadnock with, the Monadnock Pure Stocks champion, the real deal Kyle Kenny, the Jonesy's Metal Designs, Johnny Boy's Pancake House, Kenny and Gatto's attorneys, Lightning Chassis Cheez-It sponsored machine, starts on the outside. That is going to be, don't forget Chris Quinn, one of the fastest Pure Stock drivers in all of New England this year. We have lost one before the race has even begun. That's unfortunate. I believe that's Ethan Mayette. So, have a couple more caution laps, get that car off the racetrack. Check for any fluid left behind from the Ridge Runner of the one New Hampshire, because it was all over the pits. I don't know what was left in that car, but whatever was left was dumped on the exit road of the racetrack and all through the pit area. Now they're getting the signal. Rack 'em, stack 'em, get ready to rock and roll. One lap to green. Marco, you said you're addicted to DraftKings. Who's your pick? Gentleman's bet. Nobody loses money.
Yeah. I think the pole sitter hangs on.
You think Colton Hall has it in him? I think we're going to see the winner of this race come from the second row. I think it's going to be the only non-offset car in the field. I think Carter Conroy has this one. That thing was hooked up and bad fast in the heats. Remember, we did practice from 2 to 5:30 in opens, and then 5:15 to 6:45. It was sunny when we practiced. These cars are all set up for the sun, except maybe that 78 Junior. They might have thought ahead, grabbed their setup from last fall challenge, and brought it forward to this year. See if they can do it again. Now into turns 3 and 4. For the first of 5 times this weekend, the LaValle Building Supply Pure Stocks rumble to life as Chris Horton gives them the green. Side by side throughout the field, Kyle Kenny trying to take the top side in the Heinz 57. Nothing doing. Conroy through to third. Santa Moore to the inside of Quinn for fourth.
Out in front, Colton Hull, the 51, and it won't be a surprise if he does hang on. Kyle Kenny there to challenge, and the front 3 are instantly pulling away from the rest of the 22-car field.
Top 3 have pulled away already to an over second gap from 4th place machine of Andreas Santa Moore. The real deal, Kyle Kenny looks to the inside out of 2. He had a run there, thinks better of it, puts the nose in there a little bit. Colton gives him the bottom. That could be a problem. Here comes Kyle Kenny. Here comes Carter Conroy. Battle for second now between Mr. Clean and Colton Hull. Carter Conroy to the inside. Can the 78 take him into 3 and 4? Colton's going to drive it hard off in there. That's your new leader, though, coming out of 4. The real deal, Kyle Kenny. Carter Conroy jumps to the second spot at the line for a millisecond, and then it's Colton Hull. But into 1 and 2, Carter Conroy will finally take away that second spot. Over under, though. Here comes Hull into 3 and 4. He's going to have Lindsey Wetzel, though, down there as a roadblock. He's going to have to slide back up top and get behind the 78. Carter Conroy holds on a second. Kyle Kenny begins to drive away.
Yeah, and in typical DraftKings fashion, I'm on the losing end as the 51 is bumped back to third.
This is why Marco still works. He picked Drake May to throw 300 yards. Drake only threw for 150 and no touchdowns. He lost $200. That's why he came to work this week.
3 paydays.
Coming up out of 4, complete lap number 6, Kyle Kenny. Up over now a second and a half over your second place driver, Carter Conroy.
Colton Hull runs third in the 51, and then it's Chambers in the 20, running fourth in front of car number 76. Chris Quinn had a good run in the heat races with the 76. He's looking for more as he races down the backstretch.
As we complete lap number 8, Kyle Kenny, your leader, going to roll through turns 1 and 2. Coming up on Lindsey Wenzel once again, going to slide to the top side, put her down a second lap, goes off into turns 3 and 4. Carter Conroy, your second place machine, going to slide in there now. Colton Hull, just as Marco predicted, back to the third spot. As we complete lap number 8, this has been an awesome way to start our 5 pure stocks, but this time by 10 fingers salute in the air. I'm sorry, we completed 10 laps. Marco gave me the 10-lap salute. There's still 15 to go.
Said he. All right, we are closing in on halfway. Kyle Kenny in command, the 57, pulling away from Conroy and the rest of the pure stock field.
This time by, Chris Horton's going to give him the crossed flags. Halfway there, halfway home. For the real deal, Kyle Kenny. The battle for the 4th spot getting heated, though. Andreas St. Amour and Chris Quinn. There was contact in turns 3 and 4 as St. Amour holds the bottom strong against the hard-charging number 76. Colton Hull's come back to life, though. He's starting to close that gap on the 78 junior. He's going to have to get rid of that lap car of the number 12 down into 1 and 2, and now set his sights on Ruggieri in the 9. Close that gap between him and the 78. Now, Marco, I can say it. 10 fingers in the air, 10 laps to go for Kyle Kenny.
Car 57 building his lead in front of the 78. Carter Conroy now about 2.5 seconds behind race leader Kyle Kenny. Pure Stocks making a good account of themselves tonight. 22 cars and hardly any cautions. Trouble up in turn 2 just as we open our mouths and say that. Nine laps are left in the Pure Stock main event. They'll be back tomorrow for triple 20s, extra money on the line. And trust me, there will be even more Pure Stocks out there looking for the big payday tomorrow afternoon, day 2 of Fall Challenge weekend. We're racing at 1:30. Tell your friends. Street stocks get $5,000 to win. They'll be out for you know what. "16 laps have been completed in your pure stock main event. 9 laps are left. Kyle Kenny, the 57, is your race leader." Kyle toes in from Rutland, Vermont. Behind him, Carter Conroy, the 78, Colton Hull, the 51. Andreas St. Amour, car 20, Chris Quinn, the 76, in the top 5. 9 laps are left. Crown Vics and Street Stocks still to come. All right, the 57, Kyle Kenny leads it. Carter Conroy, the 78, second. Colton Hull, third in the 51. Andreas St. Amour, the 20. And fifth is the 76, Chris Quinn. After that, Dominic Stafford, Chris Chambers, James Zellman, Sean Neto, Chloe Zulo, the top 10. All right, they'll double up into restart formation. Side by side, call them a twos. We like them all. Kyle Kenny, the 57, squaring off against Carter Conroy. In front of the field, Colton Hull. Right behind your leader as we look for the green flag. 9 laps are left in the pure stock feature. We're back underway. Kyle Kenny hangs on to the lead. Conroy stuck on the outside as Colton Hull works his way underneath in car number 51. Kenny's in front now. They're wheel to wheel for second position. A slight advantage to Colton Hull on the inside with car number 51. Conroy battles back. He had him at the line, but now it's Hull again on the backstretch, and they've got company. Andreas St. Amour trying to get on the podium. Out in front, the 57, Kyle Kenny having things his way. 5 laps are left, 5 to go for Kyle Kenny, your race leader, car number 57. Hull's got a lot of company now. Look at Andrea St. Amour underneath Colton Hull trying to take second position away. Oh, late charge by the driver of car number 20. Battling hard for second position. Again, St. Amour off turn 2. Underneath Hull. She'll take second position. 3 laps to go. Hall hung out on the outside. Carter Conroy using the low groove. Conroy into third position. Less than 2 laps to go. Kyle Kenny all alone about a half straightaway, better than the rest of the pure stocks as the white flag waves. Great battle for second ongoing as they swap some paint. Andreas St. Amour going wheel to wheel, toe to toe. Carter Conroy. Oh, it's getting physical off turn 4 down to the stripe, and Conroy gets there second in the 78. Third goes to Andreas St. Amour, car number 20. Then Quinn in the 76 and bounced all the way back to 5th. Colton Hall in car 51, stopping to pick up the checkered flag because he wants a lap of honor. Your pure stock winner out of Rutland, Vermont, Kyle Kenny in car number 57. Yep, and Kyle's gonna park it in Country Fuels at Victory Lane. And I know the Atom Bomb will be more than happy to greet this guy in Victory Lane. Let's send it trackside to Nick Adams.
Ladies and gentlemen, jumping out of the car, your winner in the La Valley Building Supply Pure Stocks, the real deal, Kyle Kenny! Oh, here goes the hug and the bloody nose. Dominating performance, taking the lead super early on. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, your winner here. Fall Challenge Day 1, Kyle Kenny. Kyle, we talked about it earlier. There's 5 of these things this week that you get to go out there and try to win. You just put the biggest dent in the history of the world on the roof of your Monadnock car. How was the car out here? I mean, this car is not for this track, and it came out here, and it looked pretty good.
It's not for this track, man, but I mean, I want to thank the track for allowing all of us to run offsets. It makes the racing more fun. It makes it exciting. It's a good time. What a way to start the weekend, man. I couldn't ask for a better start, obviously. I mean, but man, it was fun racing with Colton and Carter, man. They're good racers. It's fun. Thanks for all the fans coming out, sticking it out in the cold. I know I was freezing, so yeah, just thank you all. Oh, sponsors, Jonesy's Metal Designs, Johnny Boy's Pancake House, Kenny and Gatto's Attorneys, Big Body Designs, Cheese It, and Lightning Chassis.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for your winner here tonight, the real deal, Kyle Kenny. I see him off in turns 3 and 4. Marco, I'm sending it up to you. The Crown Vics are next.
Indeed. Crown Vics. And they're going to get 20 laps to do their thing as Kyle Kenny wraps up a Victory Lane celebration following a spectacular pure stock performance. All right, Crown Vics up next, and then Street Stocks, the Super Streets, to wrap things up. All right, 2 more main events to go. 20 laps for the Crown Vics. 25 laps for the Super Streets. All right. Jess Wasowski on the pole in car number 5 to kick things off in the Crown Vic division. Ethan Williams from Pomfret Center, Connecticut in car number 4 will share the front row. Ben Wasowski in the 5-0 cop car. You know, the track owner. Steve Miller Jr. from Grantham in car number 2. Jake Grano from Litchfield in the 69. Bobby Payne from Hudson at the back, car number 17. They're going to get 20 laps. Tell your friends, and if you want to go race and build one of these, they'll be here, about a half a dozen times next year, we're told.
Marco, or they could just call up Ben Wasowski. He's got like 40 of the things, and they're always for sale.
Okay.
Did you say 20 laps the distance?
Yeah, that's what we're told. 20 laps. Hopefully caution-free.
All right. Through the 603 Metalworks and Collision start zone, the Crown Vics are underway, and the cops have arrived at Claremont.
Oh, yeah. Jess Wasowski on the inside trying to hold off the field.
Jess Wasowski got Ben Wasowski all over the back bumper coming out of turns 3 and 4. Crossing the start-finish line. New leader going to be the number 4 of Ethan Williams. Williams leading. Wasowski second. Steve Miller Jr. on the top side in the 3rd spot now. Ben Wasowski stuck on the bottom in 4th.
Crown Vics. I mean, come on. Stock cars.
Oh, Ben! Oh, Ben! Oh, Ben gave a shot to Jess in the middle of 3 and 4, which moved her up the track right in to Steve Miller Jr., and he drove it right into the opening on the exit of turns 3 and 4. Oh, man.
Yeah, didn't he used to own that car, too?
Ben's owned all of these cars that are in the field except, I think, for maybe one of them. I know the one that he's the most proud of is the 69 Drive Hub car. He loves that one. I don't know why. Coming out of turn 4, 14 laps to go. Ethan Williams, your leader. Ben Wasowski second. 3rd spot goes, well, to Jess Wasowski. Ben's playing the part with that car, by the way. Have you ever seen the fire suit he has when he jumps out? It says inmate across the back. I think it's got the Claremont Motorsports Park, like, insignia on the front of it. He built that just so it looks like he came out of jail, and his jail was Claremont. He's done a pretty good job so far through the first 10 laps of this race to not forget that there's 4 turns, because earlier this year at Lee, he forgot there was 4 turns and only did 3 of them, and then found the wall in the 4th one.
Hey, we're like halfway.
Hey, we are. We did cross the flag last time, so we're halfway there, halfway home. And the 5-0 is now caught up to the back bumper of Ethan Williams on the exit of turn 4. Wasowski looks to the inside. Williams in the detective special. He's going to slideways into 1 and 2. They're doing a drift exhibition. It's Blues Brothers at the Claremont Motorsports Park. Wasowski to the inside. Williams to the outside. New leader at the line. Still Williams.
Oh, yeah, they're wheel to wheel up in front of the field. Less than 5 to go. All right, Ben Basowski leading the 4. Ethan Williams. Crown Vics. Yeah, a lot of them are old cop cars. Rear wheel drives, you know, the way real race cars are supposed to be. You know, if you're older than dirt like I am. Ben Basowski in the 5-0. Having a good old time leading Ethan Williams in the 4. Jess Basowski might be 3rd. Yeah, and when we build this division up and got about 20 of them out there, you'll be loving it. All right, 2 laps to go. Ben Basowski. Oh, look out. They threw the yellow. All right, field will attempt to reorganize for the restart. Ben Basowski in the 5-0 is your leader. Behind him, Ethan Williams, the Connecticut invader, with car number 4. Jess Basowski, car number 5. Steve Miller Jr. in the 2 is 4th. Bobby Payne in the 17, and of course the 69, Jake Garino. And I think we've got 2 laps left. You know, but with the scoreboard off, I'm not any better informed than you. All right, Crown Vics to the green. Ben Basowski on the inside, battling Ethan Williams. And here's the white flag. Steve Miller Jr. on the inside moves up into second spot. He's got one turn to get the job done in 3 and 4. Can he do it? Probably not. Ben Basowski to the checkered flags. Ben's your winner in front of Steve Miller. In the 2, Ethan Williams, car 4. Just Basowski, the 5. And Bobby Payne rounds out the top 5 in car number 17. And in victory lane, it's the Hudson Speedway sponsored 5-0. All right, Ben Basowski's in victory lane, and the Atom Bomb will join him. Let's send it trackside to Nick Adams.
Well, thank you, Marco. Down here on the front stretch, getting ready to jump out for the first time this weekend here in Crown Vic. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Ben Basowski. Just almost blew out his knee getting out of the race car. You can tell he's getting old. I can. Ben, congratulations on a big win. Didn't look like you needed that caution there, though, at the end. How was it?
No, I saw the caution and go, you got to be kidding me. This is the only time I've ever gone good at this place, because last time I raced here was like 4 years with the street stock, and I just went right to the back. So it was nice to have this car hooked up. So I gotta thank Tyson Payne, my wife, Patrick, Bobby, everyone who works on this car. I really appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, give him a big round of applause. Your winner here at Fall Challenge in the Crown Vics, Ben Basowski. All right, Marco, I can see him in 3 and 4, and you guys are about to hear him. It's time for the Super Streets to come on out.
Super Street time indeed. The Super Streets will go 25 laps tonight, the final tune-up before they go for $5,000 to win in the Super Street Nationals, highlighting tomorrow's Day 2 card. Here at Fall Challenge Weekend. All right, Ben Basowski wrapping up a victory lane celebration. We've got one more event, the R.E. Hinckley Super Streets. Yep. And here they come. Charlie Baldwin's gonna lead them to post.
The distance for your R.E. Hinckley Super Streets feature event. Starting on the pole out of Hudson, New Hampshire, it's charging Charlie Baldwin in the Blue Deuce. Outside of him, out of Ascutney, Vermont, in the 7 Vermont. That is good for the Weasel, Chris Riondo. Third spot will bring us the Irvine, Massachusetts native, the number 27, Daniel Petrovich. I just buggered that. Fourth spot out of Croydon, New Hampshire, the number 35. Good for Chris Lindquist. Fifth on the grid out of Claremont, New Hampshire, in the number 33, Cody Schoolcraft. The 7Z out of Gilmass will bring us Zach Zielinski starting in the 6th spot. 7th spot out of Bernardston, Massachusetts. And the number 45, it's the Massachusetts Missile, J.D. Stockwell. Outside of row number 4 in the 8th spot out of Franklin, New Hampshire, the number 7 of Mike Williams. Inside row 5 of the 9th spot, the 41 Vermont out of Ascutney, Vermont, good for Larry Riondo. Outside row number 5 in the 10th spot out of Franklin, New Hampshire, the number 96 is good for the Live Wire, Chip LaGuire. Inside row number 6 out of Heartland, Vermont, the number 41 is good for Travis Sykes, and starting scratch in the field in the 360 Designs blue and white R.E. Hinckley machine. It's the rowdy one, Robert Hagar. 25 laps the distance. A little bit of a sneak peek for what you're going to see tomorrow when there's even more cars. $5,000 on the line and a whole lot to race for.
Yeah, we promise more pure stocks, more street stocks tomorrow.
We'll have more super streets. We'll have more pure stocks. We'll have the 350 Smack Super Modifieds. We're going to have them all in the house this weekend. The New England Dwarf Car Series crowns our champion tomorrow. And then Sunday's even more of the best. Down into turns 3 and 4. Charging Charlie Baldwin in the New England Pole Works Blue Deuce. He's going to lead him into the 603 Metalworks and Collision start zone. Green flag is away. And the Thunder from down under is taking off.
Oh, yeah, they're side by side up in front momentarily, but the Weasels letting Baldwin get away early.
Charging Charlie Baldwin charges straight to the front. That car right there, a couple weeks ago, went over to our sister track, the Lee USA Speedway, with the legend himself, George Baldwin, behind the wheel. Led from flag to flag in the R&R Open Street Stock race. Took home a nice check. Charlie in the Open Street Stock came home in second. So that car is the best one in the fleet right now. And it came to Claremont. Not just have a little bit of fun, to go out there and win.
Couple laps on the scoreboard, make it 3. Baldwin in front. Riendo not far behind. And he's got company.
Chris Lindquist in the number 35 all over the back of him. Lindquist, a weekly competitor here at the Claremont Motorsports Park. Last year, had this place hooked up. Looks to the inside of the Weasel in the 7 Vermont. Slides under him. They're going to be door-to-door down the backstretch. Quince Lindquist down into turns 3 and 4, trying to take away the second step on the podium. He will do so out of 4 and slide his way into second.
Cody Schoolcraft trying to work his way into contention. Car number 33 up to 4th position, and he's gaining on the front runners.
Yeah, that is the Streeter Construction, Paul Davis Restoration machine as it rolls into turns 1 and 2, closing the gap on the 7 Vermont of the Weasel, Chris Riondo, and the Garrett Smithley machine. Second spot for Chris Lindquist, your leader, Charging Charlie Baldwin, led since the drop of the green. He's going to continue to try to drive away from the normal weekly competitor here in the Canfield machine, the number 35 of Chris Lindquist, as right there behind him in the borrowed ride, the Weasel trying to claw his way back to second.
Schoolcraft gaining on that front trio. Car 33 closing in on Riendo and the rest of the front runners.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who else is closing right now is Lindquist. Oh, he got a spinner up out of turn 2. Right there, Travis Sykes goes around. Caution will wave. And he's stopped in the middle of the track. Get going. Oh, boy, that could have been bad. That changes everything. Charlie Baldwin didn't want to see that. Chris Lindquist is flying. Cody Schoolcraft is flying. J.D. Stockwell, the Massachusetts Missile, is flying through this field. Going to have to keep an eye on this field of drivers here. Marco, normally in a street stock race, I can tell you 2 or 3 guys that are going to go towards the front and stay there. In a field like this, which is about half of what we think we're going to have tomorrow, there's anybody that could win this. Now, here's the replay of what happened. Travis Sykes, him and Mike Williams, it looks like. In the middle of turns 1 and 2. Yeah, just contact there. Up under the back bumper of that Ford Mustang, looped it around. There might be more to that story. It might have been payback. It might have just been, Travis getting on the throttle, having to get out of it, slowed down a little bit in the exit of the corner where he didn't think he was going to, and Mike just didn't have anywhere to go. But Baldwin Lindquist, Riondo, Schoolcraft. Then we have in the 5th spot the 27 Daniel Petrovich, and the outside the Massachusetts Missile, J.D. Stockwell. And then inside the next row, Zach Zielinski and Larry Riondo. I'm telling you, anybody in the top, well, there's 12 cars in this field. Anybody in the top 12 could win this one, Marco. 17 to go. They're leaning on each other as they go into 3 and 4. Through the 603, Metalworks and Collision restart zone. Baldwin gets on the throttle. It doesn't fire off like he wants to. Lindquist leads the line down into 1 and 2.
Oh, they're swapping a little paint, trying to open the door for the gaggle of cars behind them. Riendo making it close up in front as Baldwin hangs on to the lead.
It's the New England Pool Works machine versus the Canfield machine on the outside. Now he's going to slip up. Here comes the Weasel, Chris Riondo to the inside, down into turns 3 and 4. They make contact, wheel to wheel. Riondo going to slide into second, close the door out time. Down into 1 and 2. Lindquist going to come back at him a little bit. Give him a shot with the nose. Get to the inside. Now they're going to be side by side for second, off into 3 and 4. Lindquist going to break late. They're going to be door to door once again. They make contact in the same exact spot. Lindquist gets sideways. The Weasel gets sideways. They continue to battle off into 1 and 2. They're leaning on each other, and Charlie Baldwin's loving every second of it. Chris Lindquist is going to clear him out of 2. Cody Schoolcraft to the inside now for the 3rd spot.
Schoolcraft had a front row seat for that battle, and now he finds the door opening up on the inside. Car 33 about to take 3rd position away from Riendo as they swap some paint. Lots of sparks flying.
I knew it was coming. What a drive by Schoolcraft. He keeps it straight. The Weasel gave him the shot, trying to get him uncomfy. He did exactly that. But here comes the Massachusetts Missile, J.D. Stockwell in the 5th spot. He sees a wounded, slow number 7 of the Weasel, Chris Riondo, and another spot could be on the horizon. But now, Chris Lindquist sits in 2nd. Can he do anything to that gap? That half straightaway gap that charging Charlie Baldwin has grabbed in the blue deuce coming out of turn 4 to 10 laps to go. Schoolcraft sideways again.
Oh, they are going at it as Baldwin runs away. Look at that run by Riendo on the inside as he tries to reclaim 3rd position. He'll get the job done.
That's not Cody's car. He's going to be extra careful with it to not try to damage it. He doesn't want to destroy someone else's car, and that hurt them. So he sits in the 4th spot, but he's not going to get nearly as aggressive as the Weasel will as we come to 8 laps to go. Your leader, Charlie Baldwin, Lindquist in 2nd. 3rd spot now goes to the Weasel. 4th to Schoolcraft, and 5th under a blanket from 5th to 9th is J.D. Stockwell.
Lots of good battles throughout the field. Actually, the action in the middle of the pack is about as good as it gets, but we've got our eyes up in front. Baldwin now about a half straightaway better than Lindquist, with Riendo and Schoolcraft still 3rd and 4th. 5 laps to go for Charge and Charlie Baldwin in front of the street stock field, the super streets, the R.E. Hinckley super streets. Baldwin in front. Then the 35. Chris Lindquist, Chris Riendo, Cody Schoolcraft, J.D. Stockwell, your top 5. Baldwin in command. It's a wire-to-wire run for your rig. Oh, look out! Up in smoke. Chip LaQuire. Detonated one. Lots of oil down there in turn number 1. We see a couple people running right through it. You wouldn't advise that. 22 laps are on the scoreboard. We've got 3 laps left, but It's going to be a minute. As the safety crews have a bit of a cleanup to do. Lots of speedy dry going down in turn number 1. Street stocks have been putting on a decent performance tonight, but we'll have probably more than twice as many tomorrow when they're going for $5,000 to win. Stop by Frazier's place and have breakfast on your way. Thank them for supporting Claremont Speedway Racers. And a racetrack, why not? Three laps are left in the R.E. Hinckley Super main event. Super Streets highlighting tomorrow's program. And of course, Day 3 of Fall Challenge Weekend is coming up on Sunday afternoon. With a full day of top-notch racing on tap. Safety crews hard at work up there in turn 1 as the field tries to crawl through. Well, we may have told you once or twice that this is day 1 of Fall Challenge Weekend. And we're starting during the daytime. Tomorrow and the next day, post time 1:30 tomorrow. Tell your friends, join us then. 3 laps left in tonight's racing program as safety crews try to get it going. All right, Charlie Baldwin is your race leader. Charlie in car number 2. Started on the pole, and he's led all the way and had a comfortable advantage when the caution flag waved. Chris Lindquist second in the 35. Chris Riendo third, car number 7. Cody Schoolcraft in the 33 is 4th, 5th. Car number 45, J.D. Stockwell. Then Daniel Petrovitz, Larry Riendo, Zach Zielinski, Robert Hagar, Mike Williams, Travis Sykes. All right. Let's drag the tires through the speedy dry once or twice and Well, you know, if you're an old-time race fan, you used to see a lot more engine detonations on the racetrack than we see in this day and age. All right. We are moments away from firing up some race cars and hopefully getting the final 3 laps of the R.E. Hinckley Super Street feature in without further incident. Pace car is rolling with Charlie Baldwin and the rest of the R.E. Hinckley Super Street field in tow. Charlie Baldwin, your leader, car number 2. Chris Lindquist, the 35, is second. The Weasel, Chris Riendo, holding down third spot with car number 7. Cody Schoolcraft, also in an unfamiliar ride. He's fourth in car number 33. J.D. Stockwell, the 45, is fifth. 3 laps remain in the R.E. Hinckley Super Street main event, our final event of tonight. We'll be back in action 1:30 post time tomorrow afternoon. Tell your friends. Bring them along. Fall Challenge, Day 2, highlighted by the Super Street $5,000 to win race, the SMAC 350 Super Modifieds. Sunday, the Modified Racing Series is headliner. Lots of action still to come tomorrow and the next day. Right here at Claremont Motorsports Park. They'll run them through the speedy dry, single file, another time or two before we cross them over into restart formation and contest the final 3 laps of tonight's racing program. All right, they double them up into restart formation. The lights go down on the pace car. We've got 3 laps left to decide the R.E. Hinckley Super Street winner tonight. Charlie Baldwin has led the first 22 laps. Let's see if he can hang on for 3 more. The green flag flies. Baldwin comes off turn 2 strong. Baldwin still your leader. 2 laps to go. Chris Riendo underneath the 35 Lindquist. Great battle for second as they head for the white flag. 1 lap to go. Riendo to second. J.D. Stockwell picks up a spot up to 4th. Lindquist makes a last lap bid to take Weasel out of second, but that won't work. Baldwin gets to the checkered flag first. Charlie Baldwin, your winner in the 2. Second goes to Chris Riendo, the Weasel in car 7 tonight. Third, the 35 Lindquist, followed by the 45 J.D. Stockwell in 4th, and Cody Schoolcraft rounds out the top 5 with car number 33. Pulling in to Country Fuels Victory Lane, it's your R.E. Hinckley Street Stock main event winner, Charlie Baldwin. All right. There he is. All right. Nick Adams is headed to Victory Lane.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, jumping out in Victory Lane, your winner here tonight on day 1 of Fall Challenge, Sergeant Charlie Baldwin. Woo! I tried to help you, Charlie. All right. So, Charlie, we're talking about all day tomorrow and how big of a day it is for you to come out tonight, put this thing in the black and white checkered squares, and, get a nice little run under your belt, get a feel for the track this weekend. How was it?
It was actually pretty good. We had some problems in the first couple of practices, but this guy's fresh from Lee, and we didn't have much time to get it ready for Claremont. So we used what we learned this summer on taking notes and putting it back where it belongs, and it's pretty good. I think get the little snug in the center out, and we're ready to roll. A lot of people in the stands.
Yeah, I know. The place is packed. Who do you want to thank for helping you get here tonight?
I got to thank Mike Richard and my girlfriend's here to support Dave. Dave Aslin's always around, and everyone knows little Pat floating around, and George Baldwin, he's not here, but Baldwin Race Cars, and we're gonna get some sleep, Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner here tonight, day 1 of Fall Challenge in the R.E. Hinckley Super Streets, Sergeant Charlie Baldwin. All right, I'm walking over here. I was just informed we're doing the top 3. All right, second place finisher here tonight, the Weasel Chris Riendo in the borrowed machine. Chris, you come into the checkered flag the last 5 laps after that restart. Everything from second on back was wide open. How was the car?
A little loose. It's more set up for Eric than I am. I got to thank, I guess, all of his sponsors for putting his car on the racetrack, and then all of mine that my father drove. It was great racing with Chris and Charlie. Geez, I almost called him George, but Charlie, I mean, that's racing with respect and hard racing and kind of knowing what you can and can't do.
I mean, he's starting to look like him, but who do you want to thank for getting this car out here tonight?
I got to thank Eric Smith and all his crew for letting me shoe it and letting me and Dad actually be able to race against each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher here tonight, the Weasel Chris Riendo. And it's been, I think, a year and a few days to the date since the last time I was able to interview this man, making his return to Claremont here for the Fall Challenge, Chris Lindquist. Chris, coming home third tonight, gives you something to work on and a baseline for what you need for the next couple days, and especially with $5,000 to win on the line. You came out here for one reason, and it was obviously to be up front. You did that. So how was the car?
It was good. We got some notes to go forward for tomorrow, so that's really cool to look forward to. We're fast all day. I think we actually ran the fastest lap of the night, so have that to build on. It's really fun racing at this track. I missed it a lot. Respect to Charlie and Chris, and hopefully we could be 2 positions better tomorrow.
Who do you want to thank for helping getting this car back here to the Thrasher Road Speedway?
First and foremost, got to thank my dad, Mike. Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate it. BFR Chassis, Canfield Plumbing and Heating. Been a while since I've been up here, but everybody else who throws a hand in, you guys know who you are. So big thanks to you guys, and hopefully we'll be back here tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher in the R.E. Hinckley Super Streets here, Fall Challenge Day 1, Chris Lindquist. All right, so we are not done for the weekend. Today was just the beginning. Tomorrow, 1:30 post time, right here on Race Day TV, and in attendance here at the Claremont Motorsports Park. The 350 Super Modifieds are in town. $5,000 on the line for the R.E. Hinckley Super Streets. Also going to crown a champion with the New England Dwarf Cars, and so much more. Triple 20s for our LaValle Building Supply Pure Stocks, all starting at 1:30. Join us tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, and bundle up because it's going to be a cold one. This isn't a goodbye. It's a see you next time. Drive safely, everyone.